Welcome back. Earl Burton with you here on casinos.com's On the Floor. And for our first episode, we have a real treat for you. One of the biggest, if not the biggest, slot influencer in the industry. You might have seen her on her online as the goddess of slots. Her name is, and I'm going to see if I can do this without butchering it,
Okay.
Lorraine Ziff.
Perfect.
I win.
That was perfect.
Lorraine, how are you doing tonight?
I'm well. Thank you so much. You're very kind. Thank you for the flattery.
It's not flattery when it's the truth because
I appreciate that.
well, we'll get to that in a second. But the one
Okay.
question I wanted to start with:
Yes.
how does a nice girl like you end up in a business like this?
That's a fair question. Well, I am an actress by trade. I went to school for it, and I have my SAG-AFTRA card and have actually worked in movies and television. And I was in between acting jobs, acting gigs. I had just finished one, and I was just getting ready to do the next. And I was in a casino, threw some money in, hit a jackpot. It was filmed. It went viral immediately, and I was like, "Wow, this is insane." And then a friend of mine actually said to me, "Do you know there's a whole niche genre for this, which I'd never heard of before?"
Hmm.
And we started to investigate it, and little by little, here we are.
Now, the thing about that is, like you said, you just filmed it and bang, there it goes.
Yeah.
But I recall a day in the casino industry when they would actually throw you all out of the casino if you
So
were
here's the
filming.
thing.
Okay,
Yes, we filmed it very on the DL.
discreetly.
Yes, discreetly, because you're 100% right. They did not, in most cases, in most places, allow for that. I know Encore in Boston did not allow it. I know Hard Rock didn't allow it. And MGM, it took them forever to allow it. I'm actually the first person who was allowed after just lobbying and torturing them to get the okay to be able to film. So but there are rules with that. You can't get other people in your videos. Which I get that. People go to the casino maybe not with their spouse.
They're there for other reasons, let's
Yeah,
say.
So,
So that's one of the things that I found interesting about you. You said you had a background in acting. With
yes.
that theater background in communications, did you ever look at like a legitimate job, like a television journalist or a Broadway performer? Did you ever look at those
I
things?
did look at those things. If you go on IMDb dot backslash Lorraine Ziff, I'm not quite sure. You could just throw my name into the Google. But I did look at that. I did do quite a lot of things, both on, as I said, television, some things on Netflix, some things within the movies. I am drawn, or I was drawn in particular, to sort of offbeat stuff. So I did things like supernatural westerns and just weird stuff like that, where I have cult followings.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's always a fun thing to have is a
exactly,
cult following with you.
exactly.
We spoke about it a little bit earlier, and I was not exaggerating when you are one of the most famous slot influencers out there. I mean, just looking at the sheer numbers that
Thank
you
you.
have, over 1 million TikTok fans,
Yeah.
Instagram 250,000, Facebook 50,000 people. I
Oh,
mean,
it's 60 something now.
oh, it's sick.
It's
Well,
constantly climbing.
it's slowly. I mean, when you look at that factor that you can reach out and touch that many people, that's
Yeah.
got to feel good for you.
It's very exciting. It's, as I said, something that I never planned. And between both my acting background as well as I was a therapist for a long time. So I have a degree in social work, a master's degree. And I love to hear people and talk to people and hear their stories and give a hug. And so it's sort of like the culmination of everything coming together. And that is exciting to me.
Yeah.
And it's nothing I planned, I'll tell you that.
Well, it's also something to behold in person because I remember when you were here in Tampa for Lady Luck HQ's birthday
Yes,
weekend,
yes,
you were constantly being photographed and you were going out and hugging people, and it was just a genuine show of affection and love between not only you but also the influencers. It was an exchange, but
yes.
the fans.
Thank you. I really, really, really appreciate when people come out to see me. Just, again, this wasn't planned. So the fact that people are taking their time to come see me, it just means so much. Or if I'm gambling and someone comes over and says, "Hey, I follow you." That they could be doing anything with their time. And the fact that they're taking their time to follow me or come out and see me is incredible to me. And I'm a hugger. And it's funny that you bring that up because I actually had people online saying to me, I haven't had a hug in a really long time. And I'd forgotten about that until you gave me a hug. And for me, that's the physicality is really how I like to connect with people. So it was neat. I mean, we both benefited, I think.
Yeah, it's something that if you have never caught up with Lorraine during one of her casino appearances, you're missing out on a treat because
Aw,
she's
thank
there for
you.
the fans and she really, really gets involved with what they enjoy doing, which is hitting the slots. Now,
Yeah.
I know one of the things, it may be not the greatest thing to talk about. What's the biggest slot hit you ever got?
I have gotten actually in Tampa, I got a 45 or $47,000 slot because I dropped the major, and then I also got money on top of that. So that was a really big one for me. And when we film, what you see is what you get. So I am as excited as anybody, and I'm like, oh my God, So I like to, I'm glad when I'm able to bring people on that journey with me.
Yeah, it's a fact that you don't go into these machines thinking, well, this is going to be the one where I score $50,000. You
I
could go
never
in there and
never think that.
lose
Yeah.
50,000 at the same time.
So that's the thing. A lot of people seem to think that we're getting money from the casinos or that it's not real money or that we're being sponsored or are casino employees. And that couldn't be further from the truth.
Exactly.
It's every dime that goes in there is my money. So every dime that comes out means it's also my money. And that's why you see me so excited. And, I'll show wins and losses. And I always say the same thing somewhere in my post, which is this is supposed to be for entertainment. Have a budget, have an entertainment budget, set it and stick to it. And don't go beyond that. Because if you go beyond that, you're in trouble.
And
So
that is the rule that everybody should have when they enter a casino. Is
exactly.
it's a lot of fun. There's a
Yeah.
lot of things you can do, but at the same time you have to have that, hey, I brought X. If I lose X, I'm fine with that. I'm going to walk
Right.
out.
Right.
A lot of people don't do that.
Yeah, you cannot go to if you find yourself going to the ATM machine, that means you're going above what you set for yourself, and that's a problem. So I'm always trying to bring that to people's attention, saying, please don't do that, don't do that, because that's when you get into trouble.
That's true. Let's talk about some more exciting things.
Okay.
Last year, for the first time, you went out on one of the Virgin Voyages, a cruise with the goddess of slots. Now, how
Yes.
fun was that?
Oh my goodness. We had the greatest time. And it was my first time doing the cruise. So I went overboard, pardon the pun. Um, but I brought so much merchandise that I just handed out again because I appreciated that the people took their time to come on the cruise. So I gave out bags and hats and shirts and lanyards and we had special dinners together where I actually got to arrange for all of the people that came on board to have special dinners with me. We had special time at the beach together. I just appreciate the people that follow me so much that I want to show that appreciation. I am so incredibly grateful. And so I'm always trying to give back in that regard to the people who take the time. But the cruise was an absolute blast. A lot of laughs.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, how many people did show up? Did you?
I don't know exactly the number, but I can tell you that we had a lot. Like we really, really,
They were
you know,
following you around, eh?
we had a lot, and I made time, for everybody. And some people we did individual or smaller group dinners,
Hmm.
and some people there's one of the restaurants on board where it was a lot of fun, and they sort of play this interactive game while you eat. And I can tell you that every person in that restaurant was people that came out for our cruise.
Cool.
We shut the place down. It was entirely ours. So it was a big, big group. And we had slot tournaments on board where I was able to give out free play in addition to the merch, in addition to just getting together and hanging out with people. So it was really great. I was really pleased with the way it turned out.
Now, is there maybe a plan on doing it again? I mean, you did this back in September of last year. Is there a plan for Goddess of Slots cruise too?
It's funny. People keep asking me to do another one because I had such a blast on the last one. I just have to sort of sit down and find the time for that because it's kind of like my life is on hyper mode, which
Mm, I know this for a fact.
because just us being able to sit down and do this was a lot. So I have to sit down and figure out when we could do that again.
And that's the
So
only thing that you got to figure out is a time
yeah,
to do it.
because it was a blast. So I would absolutely do it again. And the feedback was that everybody there had a really fantastic time too.
Yeah, and just for you listeners, we have been trying to do this interview for, I want to say, over a year
I know, and
because
I feel horrible about.
I no, it's not you. Sometimes it's me. Sometimes we just get, cross signals on
Yeah,
occasion. It is always tough to find the time to do these things. I interview musicians all the time, and they're just as difficult to nail down to a
yeah.
particular time. So I completely understand,
Well, I
but it
appreciate
is
that.
it is something that you've got to find the time to be able to fit these things in.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that we did find the time, and I really appreciate you doing this. So,
Well,
thank you.
I want to talk to you a little bit about something that is a little bit on the down low,
Okay.
little bit on the quiet side. But are we going to see the Goddess of Slots come to television?
So you are going to see that there are two things happening right now. One of them is a movie, a television series, and it's actually called Unsuited, and it's spelled UN, and the S is a dollar sign.
Of course.
Of course. And it is an absolute blast. I hope I don't get in trouble for talking about it. But it's coming out in June, and it centers around poker players. And that's something that I'm opposite Tom Arnold on. And it's about the poker world, and it's a comedy, and it is so funny, just so funny. And it's essentially a guy who's supposed to be taking over the family business, and he ends up wanting to be a professional poker player instead. And just how he ends up, without giving away too much, goes into that lifestyle and all of the characters that he meets. And he's a bit on the spectrum, so he has his own issues. So it's really, really brilliantly written. Um, and I come in as the goddess of slots. And I'm
Don't
not
give away too
necessarily,
much,
I can't
don't
say
you?
anything more. I may not have everyone's best intentions at heart, is what I'll say. But,
Ah,
but
the femme fatale entered
yeah.
that
So
night.
I'm brought in, and that's getting released in late spring. I'm just looking at my notes here. Again, I know that we have the entire Poker Association behind us too, because
Oh,
it's
nice.
poker first, poker forward, and then they also bring in, as I said, these other aspects of the gambling community. So I've already been asked to do season two.
Wow.
And season one, yeah, I'm really excited. And I'm already in trouble in season two. I'm like, wait, that's how you're opening it? Oh my goodness. So,
Oh,
yeah, so
and
we
and
filmed, I'm sorry.
I was going to say you mentioned that you had another
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
coming up too. I
So
mean,
we,
this
so
was
we
this
filmed
one
that.
I don't know about,
You
folks.
don't know
So
about
I'm
it.
going to
So it's on
learn
the,
something new
that's
here.
really on the DL. But so just getting back to Unsuited, that's coming out in spring, I believe.
Okay,
And the first season is already filmed. It's in the can, and they've already asked me back for season two, and I'm already in trouble in season two. So that's got that happening. I actually have some fellow influencers that I was able to bring in and be a part of that show, which is very exciting
that's
because
cool.
yeah, yeah. Because once I heard,
Not
oh,
going to
okay,
ask you who. Not going to ask you who.
I can't say, I'm not going to say. You'll have to tune in.
You'll have to
um,
watch it.
yes, yes. We were just when we were in Tampa. Actually, we were able to film some of it there in our
Cool.
last event. So I had some cameramen there, and we were able to get some stuff. And the second thing, which I really can't talk about, and it's in development right now, but that would be an actual movie.
Ah,
And again, it has to do with the goddess of slots. And when I first did this whole thing, one of my friends, who also happens to be a famous musician, who is also a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant businessman, um, and that's Gene Simmons of Kiss. And I was telling him everything that I was doing, and he said, I want to give you one piece of advice: trademark everything. And he's right.
that's not surprising with Gene.
Well, I don't know if you know the story behind all of that, because
No, go ahead,
originally,
please.
originally he wanted, I guess, with the rest of the band, he said, this looks like we're really onto something for Kiss, and he said, we should trademark and this and that, and I don't believe that the other people were interested in doing that. So I believe that Gene did that alone, and as a result, he holds all of the trademarks.
That does not sound out of place for Gene Simmons, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
And so, I have such respect for his intellect and his business acumen that when he made the suggestion, he actually referred me to his lawyers who do the trademarking out of New York City. And so I followed up based upon what he suggested. And so all of my Goddess of Slots stuff is trademarked. And so when they came to me and they said, well, we want you, Lorraine Ziff, the actress, but we also want you, Goddess of Slots, I said, aha, well, everything's trademarked. So, you know, yeah.
That's already in the book. Can't do
So,
anything
yeah.
about that. Wow.
So,
What
yeah,
now?
so that's what's going on there. And I actually just signed with some very A-list Hollywood talent people, three of them, in fact. I had talent agents in the past, but these are some of the top people. And so they recently actually were in Tampa to come out and see me, and they watched me in action, which was exciting. And they are going to be a part of this.
Man,
And there's a funny story there. I don't know what your timing is like, but I've been trying to get hold of these people to represent me for 5 years. And Billy Zapka, who plays in the Karate Kid, he was
mm-hmm,
the bad kid in the Karate Kid, if you recall, and in Cobra Kai.
mm-hmm.
He also played in that and had a very significant role and was up for all kinds of awards. Anyway, in between the Karate Kid and Cobra Kai, he and I filmed something. We did a pilot, and he played Johnny Lawrence. I'm sure you know who he was. But in
Yes.
between, yeah. But in between, he and I filmed a pilot that has yet to see the light of day, although I'm constantly trying to push for it. It is also very, very, very funny. And mind you, I've been trying to get these agents for 5 years, these managers. And constantly just barraging them with phone calls and just being persistent on and on and on and on. And, they weren't taking my calls and they didn't really care about who I was. And that was okay with me because, as I said, I was being represented by other people and it was going quite well. Well, finally got on the phone call, finally got a phone call back. And we were talking somehow, my relationship, my friendship with Billy came out. And as we were talking about my friendship, something came out about this show, this pilot that we had worked on. And the manager actually said to me, yeah, I know every single scene of that show. It's hysterical. And the wife in that show, who's the wife of Billy Zabka, man, she is so funny. She's got the best comedic timing and she's just hysterical. And I said, that's me. And when he found that out, he couldn't believe it. When he found that out, he actually signed me on the spot. He goes, you're hysterical. So
I don't, you don't understand how that could be, that somebody could see that and not look at you in real life and say, hey, wait a second, this is the same person.
Exactly. It took me 5 years to have this quick phone call to say, hey, that person you think is hysterical? That's me. So
yeah. Wow.
So it's luck. It's always been luck for me, and it'll always keep being luck.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Now, one more question.
Yes.
This has been a wild ride. This has been more fun than most anyone could ever have in their life.
Yes.
How much longer do you want to keep doing it?
You know what? I'm having such a good time that I don't see any reason to stop right now. Marty Cove, who was the bad guy again in Karate Kid, also a dear friend. We're in talks right now about doing something because he has a cigar line, The Prodigal Son, and we're actually kicking around doing like a cigars and slots thing where he and I get to go and different casinos and talk, and he talks about his cigars and his career, and he and I did films together so we can talk about that. We play off of one another very well. A while back he and I gambled together, which is hysterical because he's never played a slot machine in his life, so just seeing his reaction to things was very, very funny. So yeah, he was Sensei Kreese, as you know. But so that's something that we have on the horizon, but I feel like I'm just getting started. I've recreated myself and reinvented myself so many times. And, I lived my life. I did all the responsible things in life that one has to do, sort of checked all that off.
Got the college degree.
Exactly. I did the college. I, got the house. I did the family thing. I made sure my family's taken care of, which to me is the most important thing. Everybody is good.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like, I feel like I'm just getting started. Honestly, I feel like let's have fun. That's what this is about now. It's just having fun.
Well, if you're just getting started, I mean, we're going to see more amazing things out of you. If you want to keep up with Lorraine, basically punch in Goddess of Slots on your computer, your cell phone, whatever you're doing, because she's on YouTube, Cameo, Twitter, X, TikTok, Instagram, across the spectrum of social media.
Yes.
You will find Lorraine Bensavenos Ziff.
Yes.
I got it right again. I'm happy with myself.
Sure it's funny. I kept Bensavengo. I love that name because it means like we come in good faith. It's an Italian name.
Yeah.
And
I actually knew that.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go.
Do have a little Italian in the background.
Okay.
But, I do know that. So it's nice that you kept that along with your husband's last name. Yeah. Larry's a great guy, by the way, people.
Thank you.
You'll see him with Lorraine quite a bit. So it's great that you guys continue to do this, continue to do it together.
Thank you.
That, there's so many great things on the horizon for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much.